Hey everybody, my name's Calvin. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Palette. And today I'd like to talk to you about our, our company's global approach or perspective on building a company. And I thought a catchy title would be Best of the West, Beast of the East. So just quickly about what we do to give you some context. We're a hardware startup. We're based in the Velocity Garage just downstairs. We've been around for a couple of years now, and we're building Palette. It's a customizable computer interface. So it's kind of like a DJ controller that you can use for your favorite applications on your computer. So imagine you're a professional photographer, spend tons of time in Photoshop. You can actually use these physical buttons and dials to control brightness and contrast. We've been shipping a few thousand units since last year, and growing sales around the world now. So a bit about myself. This is like half a talk, half geography quiz. So I hope you guys like geography. Can anybody recognize any of these cities up here? I don't know if you can see it. But this is kind of like my background. I went to the University of Waterloo for mechatronics engineering, and through their great co-op program, I got to take advantage of a few workplaces abroad. So I've been really fortunate enough to live and work in Stockholm, in Cupertino, California, Boulder, Colorado in the bottom left, and Christchurch, New Zealand. And I think as I was putting together this presentation, thinking whether consciously or subconsciously, I feel like some of this has influenced the way we grow companies at Palette. So this is one of my favorite scenes from The Lion King, best Disney movie, by the way. Yeah, a very famous philosopher named Mufasa said that everything that the light touches is your kingdom. And I think it's very, very important to look all the way to the horizon when you're looking to grow. So, first city, anybody recognize this one? It's my hometown. It's actually Toronto. I tried to trick you guys. I photoshopped out the CN Tower there, so you guys, yeah, it's actually Toronto. I was born there. We spent a lot of time there. Some of my greatest mentors are in Toronto, and we've been through a few programs there as well. So back and forth on the 401 all the time. Second city, anyone recognize? Yeah, there you go. Exactly. This is. I didn't take this photo. It's. I think it's a view from Twin Peaks, looking down Market Street, and San Francisco has been a really important part with our company's story. I think I've spent maybe 20% of my time there over the last 2 years, whether it's been fundraising, meeting with investors, meeting with other founders. We do a lot of stuff with Adobe as one of our partners, so their offices are in San Francisco and in the Bay Area, and so we're always flying there, and would love to see a direct flight from Waterloo to SFO. Second city, or third city, I guess. It's in China. This is actually Shenzhen, China. So in 2013, we were fortunate enough to be part of a hardware accelerator program called HACT, and we basically got into the program. Didn't expect it, but we packed our bags, got our visas, moved to China for the summer, and that's where we learned a whole bunch about manufacturing, supply chain, prototyping, just getting immersed in all the infrastructure and expertise that they have over there. This is a little video from a few years ago of us walking through some of the markets in Shenzhen. You can't imagine there's like neighborhoods that are just filled with electronics components, and definitely really useful for us to shop around, test out these different buttons, test out these different knobs, and yeah, it was a really great experience. So this was about 3 years ago. Fast forward to maybe 3 weeks ago, and we're on our 4th mass production run. We've been working with a factory. We've finished all our engineering for the first batch, and this is actually units coming off the line, kind of a behind-the-scenes sneak peek at what our factory looks like. All right, last one. Does anybody recognize this city? Yeah, there you go. This is actually Victoria Park, just down the road. And I think this is one of the most important cities. Obviously, this is where we call home base. And I think as a founder, everybody kind of faces the dilemma of, should we stay in Kitchener? Should we just move to San Francisco? And we definitely went through that decision as well. And we decided to stay in KW. There's such a great community here, great pool of talents, and we really think this is the best place to build a company. And we know that how expensive it is to live in San Francisco, but we didn't want to give up, all these chances of networking and meeting great people. So we decided to save the money on rent and spend it on flights. So going back to the first picture, I think this is something that I often have to remind myself. Being in Canada, being in KW, is just a small part of the world. Definitely in terms of market size, definitely have to think about China or India or Europe. And so we're in this. If the whole world is this Simba's kingdom, we're just a few small trees, and we can't get too comfortable being in Canada. We need to definitely consider everything else that's out there. So yeah, thanks for having me. I'd like to join us on our journey. We're always hiring.
Questions?
Yeah. Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, good.
Good.
See you.
It's been a while. So, because you've worked in so many different places, you've obviously met some different mentors in different geographical regions. I'm kind of curious as to how you make time to maintain those relationships and what advice you have to maintain those relationships.
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like that's something that I can definitely improve on myself. I think in a way sometimes the geography almost forces you to reconnect, because when you're in the area, like that's the chance to be like, hey, like I'm going to be in San Francisco. Do you have time to grab a coffee? Blah blah blah. So I think at least like the travel schedule somewhat force those meetings to happen. And then once in a while, we'll hop on some Skype calls or emails. I wish I had a more rigid schedule. I would love to have actually something a bit more better than that, but I find being in these cities actually makes these is a catalyst for having these things happen.
You're doing a lot of international business.
Right.
I'm wondering how what you're seeing in terms of the barriers to international trade at this time and how you're overcoming them.
Yeah, so that's right. We've got customers in close to 50 countries right now, and definitely we had no idea how hard it would be before we started, so we probably would have focused a bit more, but it's too late. So we're shipping to all these countries and dealing with the logistics, which is a nightmare. We actually have a lot of mentors also that help us with this kind of stuff. So learning, what CE marks you need on your packaging to get into Europe, and how do duties and tariffs work, and what HS codes we need. Basically through mentors that we've reached out to, and a lot of them have helped us. We're still learning a lot though.
Just on that, I would love for you to share one piece of advice you would tell yourself if you could go back in time before you started a hardware startup. What would you tell yourself? What would you share?
I think one thing that's been that's had a huge impact on myself personally is and I guess I've said this a few times already, but having some really great mentors. I think a lot of key decisions that we've made throughout the years, and learning from some of their lessons that they've learned. I think I would have. I wish I would have, reached out and engaged with some of these really good mentors earlier on, and learning from their lessons instead of having to learn it firsthand.
I'm curious about your international markets. How do you find out what customers need in places where you aren't? Is it through mentors again, or?
Yeah, a lot of it is through that. We opened up sales worldwide, and I'm not gonna lie, we pretty much tried to figure it out as we went. And a lot of times we just learned after the fact, from making mistakes. So now we know what it takes to import units into Brazil, for example, or language requirements and all that kind of stuff. So, pardon me?
Like behavior or what people seek out in the product?
We try to talk to as many as possible. I think we try to have that dialogue with as many of our customers as possible, and also through some of the technologies that we use through our analytics, we can kind of get some insights as well. But definitely talking to customers is the best way.